Shiva, talk to us about the harder stuff. There's regulations, there's accountability.
Yeah.
Things are the regulatory landscape's constantly changing. What do we need to know? Why is this becoming high pressure right now?
I think we want to take a step back and understand why these regulations are taking effect, especially the first one that we've called out here, the EU AI Act and the California Transparency Act. Again, for all enterprises, they are going live next week. Talk to us, like a separate call, talk to Highspring and Sasha, we can help you with that. But like coming back to this conversation, what that basically says is this: if you're an organization that's actually using AI to generate anything, you have to make sure at the pixel level that you are letting users know that there is a signature that says, hey, this image is generated using AI, right? The article also says that not only should you whatever you output needs to have a watermark at the pixel level along with the metadata. So for context, traditionally metadata alone was working, but then the moment you take a photo, like I can take my camera and take a photo of this and all the metadata is stripped away, right? Like, so that's why at a pixel level it's getting mandated. So every image or video that you're going to output using AI needs to have a watermark at the pixel level that should be mapped to a metadata. And it's not just any large enterprises. So the moment we say enterprises, people usually think of internet technology company, but it's actually, if you're a camera manufacturer, if you're a platform, if you're a dating site, if you're a messaging platform, you can be any tech company today or tech-enabled platform today that just needs to have about 2 million monthly active users. Then you're held liable to stay compliant, right? And I think that's a good thing because, again, we will talk about the whole philosophy of Sasha in a second, but like I look at provenance technology as like a human with a passport, but then for images and video, you know what I mean? It basically tells the story of the human. Where were you born? Where do you travel? Who did you change? Like, have you changed your face? Whatnot, right? Like, so it's like an equivalent. I think that's a great analogy, and people will kind of understand what provenance means. It's like, hey, it's important to understand what you're creating in an organization, especially in times today when every tool has an AI component and generative AI is so widespread and prevalent that it's allowing you to create an image, video, text, any article or anything that you want so easily. So it's important for humans to know that this was generated by AI. Oh, the Takedown Act is also very interesting because it talks about that organizations just have 24 hours to respond to any NCAA or deepfake takedown claims, right? So think about it this way: your LinkedIn, or even not LinkedIn, a large organization, even if you're a small organization, you have 24 hours to respond, but you might not have 24 hours to understand where this image or this video or this the content that's in dispute has come from, right? So it's important to use technology and humans in the loop. At a high level, without spending too much time on the accountability, organizations needs to create internally. I'll say 3 things, right? Make sure you tag everything that you create, right? Make sure you clock it. So I'll say tag it, clock it, catalog it. So tag it is making sure that everything that you're generating, there is not only metadata, but even at the pixel level, you're tagging it. And Sasha can help you with that. Highspring can help you with that. You can respond. So clock it, make sure you're able to respond fast. So if you already have the provenance data or information, it's just a lot easier for you to respond back. So it kind of helps you do that. And then again, catalog it. Just keep a catalog of everything that you're doing. You can use it in 2 ways. You can have the humans get better in reviewing. You can also train your own internal models with the data of what bad actors are doing over a period of time. So it kind of helps you in both ways. So.
And like I like to think of it as like ingredients, right? We've gotten to a place in society where we want to know what's in our food. We want to know the calories. We want to know the, what's in there. So similarly, in the world of responsible tech, we want to know what's behind the app, behind the UI. Some of these other regulations, I mean, they're not new, but I think that they're evolving. So can you talk to us a little bit about the Ofcom Online Safety Act? I mean, I think that, not to steal your thunder, but there's a ton of countries that are on the verge of creating age bans for large platforms for young users. We're seeing that come out of Asia and out of Europe quite quickly. There's talks about in the US. Australia was the first. There's been lessons learned around that. But I mean, talk if you wanted to touch on the OSA a little bit. we're talking about kids using notification apps
Yeah.
probably a lot. You know, what do you think the OSA is doing for organizations right now for platforms?
I think a lot of interesting things are going on in that space. Like if you look at challenges that platforms face today, especially with respect to kids and teens, there is enough study that shows, too much time in certain types of platforms that is not good for them. It's getting addictive. It kind of creates mental health issues. So governments, both in Europe, Australia, Asia, even in US, there are some papers being passed around on like what is it that we could do. Again, we want to be, at least in the US, we are trying to be mindful of where it's free versus where you're regulating and whatnot. But US and Europe and Asia are pretty more aggressive. They've taken an aggressive stance that it'll all boil down to things like you can't send I think I just saw an ad today where Meta says they're not going to send notification to kids after a certain point in time. Teen accounts, Google, when I was at Google always had YouTube for kids for a long period of time because there are certain types of content that they try to necessarily block and gate so kids don't see it. I think it's all this are measures that platforms have taken in the past and will continue to take. But as bad actors evolve, getting into group chats or faking their ID and pretending to be a teen and getting in so there's identity verification issues, there is fraud. I think no matter how much you do in this space, it's not enough. The only thing that I'll say is there is enough pursuit to stop bad actors, and then continue to build your products, teams around these important legislations to make sure that it is safe. Again, it boils down to trust and safety. It is safe by design for kids, even adults, who are sharing photos of their kids or whatnot, to make sure we are comfortable in sharing that.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think that it's hard because technology innovation is so quick, regulation and policy is not as fast. And so what I think regulators are, I met someone from the Singaporean regulation, and they're saying we learned from what happened with e-safety commission out of Australia. We're going to take the things that worked, but what we really want to look at is the behavior of users. And so if we think about us today, what do we have control over? We have control over parental controls, which are very challenging to use. But again, companies are going to start to get more accountable for how their technology enables harms on their platform.